You watch the NFL every Sunday. You know what a blitz is. You know what a nickel package is. You know what pass interference looks like from 40 yards away. But someone puts soccer on the TV and suddenly you feel like you just landed in a foreign country without a translator. This video is going to fix that. Right now, in about 10 minutes. Most people try to explain soccer by just listing the rules. That's boring and it doesn't work. Instead, I'm going to translate soccer directly into NFL language, things you already understand. So by the end of this, you won't just know the rules. You'll actually get why soccer is the way it is. And some of what you're about to hear is going to genuinely surprise you because there are things happening on that field that most casual fans never notice. Here's where we're going. First, I'll cover the thing that confuses NFL fans the most, the clock and the scoring. Then I'll break down the rules that look weird but actually make perfect sense. And then I'll hit you with the stuff nobody talks about. The hidden rules that completely change how the game is played. Let's go. Okay, the clock. This is where NFL fans lose their minds first. In the NFL, the clock stops constantly. Incomplete pass, clock stops. Out of bounds, clock stops. Timeout, clock stops. First down, clock stops. The game is 60 minutes, but it takes 3.5 hours to watch. You know this. You live this every weekend. Soccer is the opposite. The clock starts. It almost never stops. It runs for 45 minutes straight. You get a halftime break, then another 45 minutes. That's it, 90 minutes total. But here's the part people get wrong. The clock counts up, not down. It starts at 0 and goes to 90. So when you see the clock hit 90 minutes, the half isn't necessarily over. The referee adds extra time, called stoppage time or injury time, to make up for any time wasted during the half. Substitutions, injuries, guys rolling around on the ground being dramatic. All of that gets added back on at the end. And here's something that almost nobody knows. That stoppage time number you see on the board, it's a minimum, not a maximum. The referee can play as long past that number as he wants. He decides when the game ends. Not the clock, not the scoreboard. The referee blows his whistle and it's over. That's why you'll sometimes see a game scheduled for 90 minutes plus 5 of stoppage time, and the referee plays 8 extra minutes instead. He's in complete control. That's wild when you think about it from an NFL perspective. Imagine if the referee in the Super Bowl could just decide to add another 3 minutes because he felt like it. That's soccer, every single game. Now, scoring. This one's simple, but the implications are huge. In soccer, you score a goal. 1 goal equals 1 point. There are no field goals, no extra points, no 2-point conversions, just goals. And goals are rare. A typical soccer match might end 1-0 or 2-1, sometimes 0-0, which we'll get to in a second. Here's the NFL translation. A soccer goal is basically a touchdown, except there's no extra point after it. You score, you celebrate, and the game restarts from the center circle. That's it. 1 goal can win a championship. 1 goal can end a season. The weight of a single score in soccer is enormous, in a way that almost doesn't exist in football, where you might score 30 or 40 points in a game. And that 0-0 scoreline that drives American fans crazy, it's not boring to people who understand the game. It's like watching 2 elite defenses completely shut each other down for 90 minutes. It's chess. Every single attacking move is being neutralized. But I get it, if you're coming from the NFL, it feels like nothing happened. Stick with me, because once you understand what's actually going on out there, 0-0 hits different. That's important. But if you don't understand the offside rule next, none of the attacking play will make any sense. Offside. This is the rule that makes first-time soccer watchers feel like they're going crazy. You see the ball go into the net. Everyone celebrates. Then the referee waves it off. The flag goes up. Offside. Goal disallowed. People are screaming. You have no idea what just happened. Here's the simple version. In soccer, you cannot be in front of the last defender when the ball is played to you. That's it. If you're standing behind the defense when your teammate passes the ball and there's nobody between you and the goalkeeper, that's offside. The goal doesn't count. The NFL equivalent is actually pretty close to this. Think of it like an illegal formation. The offense can't just park a receiver in the end zone and throw him the ball. There are rules about where you can be positioned. Offside in soccer is the same idea. You can't just camp out behind the defense and wait for the ball. But here's where it gets interesting. The rule is based on the exact moment the ball is played, not when you receive it. So a player can be onside when the pass is made, then sprint past the defender and receive the ball legally. Timing is everything. And this is why you see attackers making these perfectly timed runs. They're trying to stay onside for just long enough, then explode into space the moment the ball leaves their teammate's foot. And here's the fact that almost nobody talks about. The offside rule was invented specifically to stop players from just standing next to the goalkeeper all game, waiting for a long ball. Before the offside rule existed in the 1860s, that's literally what people did. The rule forced players to build attacks from deep, to pass and move, to create real patterns of play. The entire tactical structure of modern soccer, the formations, the pressing, the build-up play, all of it exists because of the offside rule. It didn't just prevent goal poaching, it created the entire game as we know it. That's important, but the next rule is one that even people who watch soccer regularly misunderstand. The handball rule. Oh boy, you know it's a handball when a player touches the ball with their hand or arm. Simple, right? Wrong. It's one of the most debated rules in the entire sport. Here's the actual rule. It's only a handball if the player deliberately handles the ball, or if their arm is in an unnatural position that makes their body bigger. That second part is where all the controversy lives. So if a player is running and the ball hits their arm that's just hanging naturally by their side, no handball. But if their arm is raised out to the side and the ball hits it, handball. The referee has to judge whether the arm position was natural or not. In real time, at full speed. You can see why this causes arguments. The NFL equivalent would be like if pass interference only counted sometimes, depending on whether the referee thought the defensive back meant to do it. Imagine that chaos. Welcome to soccer. But here's the thing almost nobody mentions. In the last few years, soccer introduced video replay review, called VAR, which stands for Video Assistant Referee. And instead of making handball calls clearer, it actually made them more controversial, because now they're reviewing plays frame by frame and calling handballs on things the human eye couldn't even see in real time. There have been goals disallowed because a player's arm was in an unnatural position by literally millimeters. The whole sport has been wrestling with this for years. It's genuinely one of the biggest debates in soccer right now. So if you're watching a match and suddenly everyone loses their mind over a handball call, just know that even the people who've watched soccer their entire lives are probably just as confused as you are. That's important, but there's one more rule that NFL fans always ask about, and it's the one that looks the most brutal. The yellow card and red card system. In the NFL, if you commit a penalty, your team gets yardage taken away. Maybe a replay of the down. That's the punishment. The player stays on the field. In soccer, if you commit a serious foul or show bad sportsmanship, you get a yellow card. That's a warning. Get 2 yellow cards in the same game, and you get a red card. Red card means you're ejected. Gone. Done. And here's the brutal part. Your team doesn't get a replacement for you. They play the rest of the game with 10 men instead of 11. Think about what that means in NFL terms. Imagine your starting quarterback gets ejected in the second quarter of a playoff game, and the backup has to come in, but also the offense has to play with only 10 players on every snap for the rest of the game. That's the impact of a red card in soccer. It fundamentally changes the game. Teams that go down to 10 men have to completely restructure their entire strategy on the fly. And here's the fact that most people don't know. You can also get a straight red card, no yellow card warning first, for what's called serious foul play or violent conduct. If you tackle someone in a way that endangers their safety, or if you punch someone, you're gone immediately, no second chance. And that red card follows you beyond the game. You'll typically serve a suspension for the next match or more, depending on the severity. There's also something called a professional foul, where a defender deliberately fouls an attacker who's through on goal just to stop them from scoring. That's an automatic red card, because the referee is saying, you denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity. You broke the rules on purpose to stop a goal. That deserves the harshest punishment available. In the NFL, that would be like if holding in the end zone automatically ejected the player. Soccer takes deliberate rule-breaking extremely seriously. Now, if you're enjoying this breakdown and it's starting to click for you, hit that subscribe button. Because I break down sports, strategy, and the stuff that happens behind the scenes that most people miss. And drop a comment below telling me which rule surprised you the most. The offside rule, the handball chaos, or the red card system. I read every single comment, and I want to know where your brain just exploded.